Hey there, campers. While you get nice and cozy around the fire, I just want to warn you we are not experts. What we are two people with microphones who love to research and discuss cryptid creatures, and the occasional scary woman who can eat our souls. So if you are currently being attacked by a chupacabra or a jackalope, call somebody else. Also, this show isn't for kids, so if you're a kid listening, please give your iPad back to your parents.
Hey campers, my name is Kimmy and I am here with my co-host Ryan.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Aloreing. If you didn't know, our folklore podcast where we tell you the history and stories of legends and lore from just all around the globe.
And the amount of effort it took for us to get this episode going
Whew.
today.
I had computer problems, resolved. And then Kimmy had computer problems, resolved. And then just I had to redo our entire not slides, but like OBS, resolved. Whew.
Today's a good
But
day.
we made it. Only, what time did we say we were going to start? Like 6 my time. It's currently 7:40 my time. So glad we're not doing it live anymore.
Oh man, we did it live for a little bit in season 1. Y'all, for all our new campers, never again.
Stressful.
I don't know how streamers do it. Like, it's too much.
Way too much.
Like, if we ever do a live show, it's gonna be like specifically a live show with a ticket y'all can get, and we'll make it a thing. But we're not just casually throwing those out because I'm tired, Grandpa.
Too much, yeah.
But we'll get right into it. Ryan, what did you find so alluring this week?
Well, I guess when this episode comes out, it will already have happened, but in exactly 6 days from now, we're going to be having our artist market out in Salt Lake, and I'm real excited about that. Yeah, and it's also my last week of being in my 20s, so bless up to that one. Going out with a bang, doing an artist market. Next day, bam, 30.
Before your bones really give out on you,
Yeah.
do an artist market.
I'm gonna wake up and be like, man, why am I so sore from sitting at an artist market? Oh, because I'm basically ready for retirement.
I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
But you got it done in your 20s.
We got it. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I can already feel myself withering away.
It's so funny because I felt like I turned 30 and the whole world just finally made sense to me. I feel like I've been 30 since I've been 12.
Yeah. See, I felt the same way, but now that the impending doom of 30 is coming, I'm like, maybe I didn't feel 30 this whole time. Maybe I'm still a baby.
I feel like it's so different for everyone. Like when Edgar was turning 30, that man was stressed the fuck out.
Yeah. I'm a little stressed.
I was like, what's the concept of age to you? And he's like, And I'm like, it's fine.
It's basically midlife. I'm ready to have my crisis now, which is not great. Like,
actually, fun astrology fact for all y'all. This is when your Saturn return happens, is between like 28 to 30. So any lessons or
God,
things...
if Saturn could just hurry up and return, man. It's been rough since 25, so I'm gonna need Saturn to speed it up.
I'll do a tarot reading for you when you come
Okay,
down,
that's good. And let me know if Saturn, because if Saturn came and went already, then that does not bode well for me.
It just comes in your life, sees what has a poor foundation.
It's like, bro, I can't do anything about that. You got some other stuff to figure out. I'm a planet, man. I can't do nothing about that.
Ryan's doing great mentally, everyone.
I'm feeling good. Feeling spry.
I'm good. That's good to hear. I was
I
worried for a
love
minute.
that your drink matches your top, by the way. That's very and mine, you know what? Same. Look at
Oh
us.
my
Look at us.
god!
We're just matching everything we own today.
Listen, we definitely have our color palette. We're
Hmm.
very NPC energy right now,
Very much so, yeah.
which is yeah, and it's a Trader Joe's pineapple.
Oh, I thought you were pounding a blue Red Bull at 8:45 at night, and
I wish I was.
I was like, oh, great, Kimmy's having one of those days. She must have a project she's working on. Anyway, what did you find alluring? Enough about my crisis.
Enough about your mental spiral.
Yeah.
Um, I think the most alluring thing was was Ryan this week learning about women dating sim games.
Oh man. No. Okay, say your thing, and then I'm gonna say my piece because there's more to it than I feel like you're gonna say.
um, for for all of you that don't know, Ryan and I are actually friends outside. We don't just do the podcast and
Hmm.
say, "Hey, I will not talk to you ever again." And we
Well,
will like
after this week, we'll see. Anyway, finish your story.
we'll like hop on Discord and we'll play games all together. And they were playing like Marvel Rivals,
Hmm.
and we saw the glory of what was her name, Emma
Emma
Frost,
Frost, yes.
and
Mm.
and seeing how thick she was, and I was like, no, 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 let me show you thick. So I introduced him to what this is going to reach a very slim amount of our target audience, or all of them. I don't know.
I
Love
feel
and
like
Deep,
with our audience, probably a very large portion of it, for
probably.
better or worse.
So I showed him like profiles of the men from like Love and Deep Space. And our close female friends in the Discord were like, "Oh, what is this game?" And I'm like, "Let me show you what this game is." And it was the most entertaining night of my life.
You guys went feral. They were barking at their screens, quite not like, and not like a goofy like haha woof woof. No, they were barking into their microphones. I'm just trying to have a nice quiet Saturday night playing Marvel Rivals with my friends. They're barking. One I'm not gonna call anyone out, but one of them, I don't know if it's too early in the episode to say this, but one of them says, "I'm gonna fuck his face," and I was just like, "What?" It was a lot. It was a lot.
So, and I was just laughing the whole time. I was in tears, and they were, and, and Ryan and one of our other brothers was like, "Do you hear them right
They were
now?"
going absolutely feral. So, to the gentleman listening, if you need to get your woman feral, just have her play some Love in Deep Space and just sit back and wait, because you're gonna have a good time after. Um, for the ladies, I guess the same thing. If you want to bark at your computer screen or your phone screen, this is a mobile game. It was, oh boy, it was a lot.
It was just the funniest, one of the funniest moments I've
Yeah,
had with you, and I didn't expect that from our other
yeah.
friends either.
God help all their husbands that day. That's all I'm saying. Jesus.
So great. I love the people in our circle. It was so great. Yeah, and I'm and it, I the best part is not even 2 days later, I sent Ryan like a vampire dating game that I want to play for our Patreon, and he was like, "You know what? Sure.
Yeah,
It can't
we'll
be
see
any
what happens.
worse."
It cannot be.
So Ryan's a trooper is what we've learned.
Hmm.
Because he deals with a lot. Oh
You
man.
guys were unhinged.
How long have we been friends? 8 years? Was that the thing that tested it?
That was the. I was just. We didn't win a single game of Rivals while we were listening to them talk about this game.
Everyone comment your love and Deep Space Maine.
Yeah.
Below.
Yeah, let us know your favorite story below.
Oh man, I'm crying. Wow. I had a good transition, but I just kept laughing through it. That was too great. Oh, speaking of
Speaking of getting knocked up after you play a video game, what are we talking about?
That doesn't make sense, but let's do it. Yeah, let's cue this. Let's cue this campfire sound. And why do people listen to us?
You know why.
Listen, that vampire game is going to be so fun, and it's not as bad as like that.
Well, then
I
I'll
was
be
looking.
disappointed.
It's like more sweet. Anyway. When exploring the mines just under the Earth's surface, one can feel the constant creaks and groans of the weight of the world with each step. Each shift of stone and groan of metal echoes through the air as a reminder that any moment the ground above could collapse in a second and silence out anyone searching for treasure or coal. Now, why would anyone bother mining if it was this unsettling? With this fear of suffocating or the unknown? Well, what if I told you that there was some wee fae that hid deep within the mines, and they were watching closely, and all one had to do was listen for the knocking on the walls that would either warn them to leave, so they wouldn't get snuffed out like light in the darkness, or even better, lead them to riches untold. Oh, so this week we'll be talking about the hardworking Tommy Knockers. Um, I did see like some interpretations that said it was like Tommy Knackers, but that was like very few, and so we're going to go with Tommy Knockers.
Yeah, that sounds a lot cooler.
Yeah, it's more the vibe, and a lot
Yeah.
more like Welsh folklorists did the knockers. There was a few that did knackers, but
Yeah.
it sounded cooler when they said knockers, so that's
Yeah.
one. For all of our lovely audio listeners, if you would like to see this week's illustration, head to our website, check out our blog, head to our Instagram, or come hang out on YouTube. Um, I did a cool little lantern with the spirit of the Fae folk in it, which was pretty fun. And it will make sense why there's all the stuff around it in a moment. So, these Fae folk have been part of Cornish folklore since the early 11th century. It wasn't until the early 18th century that this mining, yearning fae found its way into the American coal mines in the West Coast, only to still be a major part of American mining folklore to this very day. So, what are the origins of Tommyknockers? Well, oral legends of this gnome like creature have been a part of Cornish and Devon folklore since the early 11th century. They have many close connections to other gnomous creatures such as leprechauns, Kentish cloakers, and brownies, but the knockers were known for their mining skill set specifically. So, in Cornish folklore, we're going to focus on the most popular theory of how the Tommy knockers came to be. And we're only doing the popular one because there was one that we felt was a little bit problematic, and we don't want to.
And it was a little problematic.
We don't want to dance with that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not gonna, because this is our
Turns out a lot of European folklore slightly problematic.
What?
I know.
Who would have thought? So it's believed that these are the spirits of specifically Jewish miners who worked in the mines around the 11th and 12th century that were tragically killed due to the poor working conditions. And now the spirits watch over the current hardworking miners so they don't meet the same tragic fate. So we got some sweet spirits that aren't haunting but protecting. These spirits were a major part of Cornish folklore well into the early 18th century. The legend started to spread overseas as Welsh and Cornish immigrants started to bring the tales and oral legends of these mining, yearning knockers to the United States. So these gnomous creatures first found themselves in the Pennsylvania coal mines around the 1820s. Welsh and Cornish immigrants would warn other American coal miners about keeping a close eye on their possessions and if they heard any knocking, to leave the area immediately. Why? Well, that's because the Tommyknockers were gnomish spirits of past miners who loved to snatch up unintended items, play pranks, but also watch over those in the mines and warn anyone of any unsafe area about to collapse. So, miners commonly shared tales about this gnomish like creature, and with the start of the California gold rush in 1848, the legend found its way in the underground mines of Colorado, Nevada, and California. So, pretty much the whole west coast of America. Plus, immigrants sometimes referred to them as Cousin Jack. Uh, so, Cousin Jacks, they love telling this legend and spooking the American coal miners, and it was part of their culture that they were able to bring over. Cornish and Welsh immigrants saw these creatures as protective fae that helped protect the miners and keep them on their toes. But the American miners interpreted them as a ghostly spirit and were more fearful of these legends,
As is tradition.
as is tradition. So that's something I liked a lot about this legend is you have the two worlds and you have the people that bring the story that are like they're not bad, they're here
Yeah.
to keep you safe, and you have the American gold
Yeah.
miners that are like, I don't know about that, Chief.
Yep. Things get to America and we're like, it's the devil.
Pretty much. So regardless of what the Tommyknockers' actual purpose was, as long as the coal miners have been around, belief of them have been strong in American folklore. In fact, legends of these mining folk are still told of throughout the 19th and 20th century. So we're doing a lot of jumping because it's like the legend stays very consistent and then there will be like a big moment, is how this
Gotcha.
one goes.
Okay.
So in 1956, California's mining industry came to a sudden halt for a multitude of reasons. Mostly supply and demand because of good old capitalism. At the time, one article wrote how one of the largest coal mines sealed the entrance for good. Once this happened, fourth, fifth, and sixth generations cousin Jacks circulated a petition calling for the owners of the California's largest and oldest coal mines to open the doors and release the Tommyknockers within the mines. That way, these spirits can move on to other mines in California, Mother Lode. And the company complied and did as requested. I really like that because they listened to the hardworking immigrants that came over and were really strong in this belief system of what the Fae folk were and how they protected the mine. And they're like, hey, we need you to open it so these spirits aren't trapped in there. And instead of like kind of just pushing it off, they were like, oh yeah, we'll do it. And they opened the mine to let them out. Like, I don't know how much, what's it called? Coaxing? Is that the word?
Yeah, coaxing. Yeah.
I don't know how much it really took because they did have to sign a petition for it. And I couldn't find like more information than this. And it was so hard to read any article because it's all print.
Yeah. The font's about this big and you can't zoom in because it was a scan from like 35 years ago.
Yeah, but it was. I really love the idea where the legend was so strong and prominent in the work field where they let it be free and they
Yeah.
didn't question it, you know. I think that makes it like very special.
Yeah.
And with the closing of the largest coal mine in California, it seemed the legend of the Tommyknockers went silent. So there were rumors that they were still roaming around the mines and watching over the few that wished to explore the undergrounds and search for treasures. Though the coal industry has been in a decline since 2008, as long as the old US of A continues to hold on to its dangerous career paths, it's nice to know that even if we may not have OSHA to help watch over us, you know, because their funding will probably be cut off. I can tell when I wrote this show notes. We will at least have some delightful chaotic fae that will help keep us safe. And now that we know the possible origins of these delightful Tommyknockers, I'm gonna head over to Ryan to tell us about a sighting and 2 short stories.
Yeah. So Kimmy called me in a cold sweat at 3 a.m. and said, Ryan, I have absolute proof this time that these are real. And she sent me a TikTok video. And we're gonna watch it. We're gonna watch it live. She just seemed really sure that this was going to be the one to do it. So for our audio listeners, I will describe it, but go ahead and head over to our YouTube so you can see it as well. All right, so I'm just going to play it. Viewer discretion is advised. All right, so we're in a cave with a flashlight. All right. He looks over to the side and looks like there's a small, about 3-inch creature on the ground. Oh, and he runs away. He's running for his life. Oh, they're all running. Okay, we got slowed down. All right, zoomed in. Oh, he had to circle it. That's always a good sign. So you ever seen those videos where people put like jackets on their chihuahuas and they're like running directly at the camera? That's kind of what it looks like here. But clearly it's not, because these 3 young men are absolutely running for their lives. And it's always a very good sign in a video when you have to circle the thing to tell you what it is. I'm just going to let it play through one more time. He boosts the contrast here at the end to really help us out. Man. Shocking. That is shocking stuff.
The screenshot I took for the slideshow is actually not even the right.
No, you were way off. Kimmy just saw a shadow and was like, "This is it."
I would not
which
survive.
bodes very well for the rest of the video. Clearly. All right. Well, there it is. It's real. We did it.
I need you to know. I spent 3 days trying to find.
And you did.
Anything.
You found it.
This was it.
That's it right there. We did it. Guys, we did it. We finally have cold, hard proof.
I did learn about splunking, though, in the process.
Crazy. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, cave divers need to figure something out, because it's not the move. I'm
sorry. I'm a very, like, you know what? Do what makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting anyone and people are like okay and safe, you know. But god damn, that is not a safe decision. Like,
no. When you were in college, did you never go out to the like lava tubes and like crawl through those and stuff when
No.
Well, I did that a few times.
Ryan.
Yeah, I would not do it now. Absolutely not. But you know,
I had a phase where this was before I like came out as fully bi. Like, I knew I was, but like I hadn't had the turn yet. So I like was dating a lot of like dudes that looked like Captain America, which were all Leos, and I would always like go out rock climbing.
Every Utah man in existence.
But I would go out like rock climbing all the time. And sometimes they'd be like, "You want to go like in a cave?" And I'm like, "No. Why would I want to go in a cave with a man?"
Yeah. Number 1, a cave. Number 2, a cave with a man. No. Ain't it, Chief?
I was like, this is like our 3rd date. I'm not going in a cave with you. I'll rock climb with you and your friend, but I'm not going in a cave with you.
Great first date idea. Let's go middle of nowhere and let's go in a cave. Like, what could go wrong?
No,
they're just out there wild in Utah. Good luck, everybody out there.
Please don't go spunking. Like, if that makes you happy, I don't know, get a tunnel in your house or something, man. Be like my rabbit.
Go to like a cave where there's like tour guides and that kind of stuff. Stop going into caves that are 3 inches wide. Anywho. All right.
Be guided. I'm sorry. That was the most stressful thing about researching this topic.
Yeah.
Was learning about it.
So the first Tommy knocker we're going to talk about is poor old Eddie. So, as discussed, Tommy knockers are spirits of departed miners that help miners find ore. on top of, warning them. And they knock on the walls of the right before a cave in. So if you hear them knocking, it's best to depart the area right quick. And they save many miners' lives, so maybe some good guys. Knowing this, it's important to show your appreciation to the Tommyknockers because they can become very spiteful creatures if they don't like you. One unlucky miner by the name of Eddie had learned this the hard way because he became the target of a Tommyknocker. So, these spirits drove Eddie crazy, pelting him with stones, stealing his tools, blowing out his lantern, and he could not figure out why the Tommyknocker had singled him out until one day he heard the voice calling to him from a dark opening of a nearby shaft, "Eddie, I want my $5." Eddie was so startled he dropped his tools all over the ground. The voice sounded just like that of his old friend Joe, who had died in a cave-in a few months back. Eddie had borrowed $5 from Joe and had never returned it. Eddie went into the shaft, and sure enough, there was Joey's ghost, shrunk to the size of a 2-foot tall dwarf with a big ugly head, large ears, and a big nose. He wore a peaked hat, a leather jacket, and a water-soaked leather boots. The Tommyknocker was not pleased to see Eddie, and he said, "Give me my $5, Eddie." The ghost of his old friend demanded. He said, "Cash." "I don't have any money on me, Joe," Eddie said, patting his pockets for emphasis. "I heard that before," said the Tommyknocker. "I don't believe it then, and I don't believe it now." The Tommyknocker disappeared into thin air, leaving an uneasy Eddie to wonder what the ghost would do next. He soon found out. All day long, Eddie was plagued by Tommyknockers. His ladder was shaking so hard he almost fell. The loud tapping noise of the invisible drill nearby drove him mad, and he just missed being buried by a rock fall. Through all this, Joe's voice would taunt him, "Give me my $5, Eddie." "All right, Joe, all right." Huh?
I love the idea of being so petty.
Yeah.
You die and you haunt your friend for $5. This is
amazing. This story doesn't have a year, but I mean, if this was like 19 10 or something, like $5, that's a bit of money. But still, like, and to be fair, if I get taken out and someone owes me $5, I'm haunting their ass. If I have a reason to like stay behind to get some unfinished business done, I'm taking it. So he said, "All right, Joe, all right, I'll get your bloody $5. So, abandoning his work, he made for a long climb to the surface and took $5 silver from the money box he kept under a loose board in his bedroom.
Woo! You want to know how much it would have been if it was in 1910?
Sure.
$168.32.
Look, I'm haunting someone over $168.
Yeah.
That's at least like 2 Warhammer boxes. That's all I'm saying. Like,
give me my Warhammer.
Yeah, give me. I need my Space Marines, please. So he climbed back down to the mine, stuck the $5 into a crack in the wall next to the place Joe's spirit had appeared to him. "There's your $5, Joe," Eddie shouted, his voice echoing oddly in the dark tunnel. "It's about bloody time," Joe said, appearing next to him and peering critically into the crack where the money lay. "Are you going to leave me alone now?" Eddie asked. The Tommyknocker grinned impishly at Eddie and said, "Maybe," as he scooped up the $5 silver and disappeared into the dark. I like that. He left himself with options.
Yeah. He said, I'll think about it.
I don't know. Once I balance my checkbook and see if you owe me any more money, Eddie.
He like bites the coin to make sure it's real.
Yeah. It's weird. I didn't loan you silver dollars. How'd you get these?
I love a good petty spirit. Mm-hmm. I'm here for it.
Imagine staying in the mines haunting people over $168. Like, you're just a permanent fixture in that mine now, and it's valid. I get it.
You know what? I understand. I was like, because in my head, for some reason, whenever I think of money back then, I'm like, oh, that's just like $20 now. Yeah. And it's not. Mm-mm. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of money. That's a mermaid tail for me, Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a cool, like, fake fur coat at a Ren fair. One person will get that.
I was like, that was a very, very specific joke.
All right. Fast forward 3 years later, possibly 1913. So this is by The Tommyknocker by Edwin Sabin. So it was a wild night in the hills above the town of Silver Bow, and the wind moaned and howled like some lost spirit in the night. The little shack at the top of the hill was served as the home for the workmen of the Silver Bow gold mine, rocked and swayed under the pressure of the gusts. Inside, around a smoky stove, a half dozen men sat and smoked in silence as they awaited the end of their shift. Suddenly, the door burst open and a man came in. He was out of breath and his eyes were wide with fear. "The hell's the matter with you, Jim?" said one of the men, glancing up. "They're here," Jim gasped, his voice hoarse. "The Tommyknockers. They're in the shaft again." At once, the room was filled with uneasy murmurs. The Tommyknockers were creatures of legend among the miners of Silver Bow. Sorry, Silver Bow Gold Mine kind of pisses me off. Like, call it the Golden Bow Gold Mine. Come on. Anyway.
Is that your beef?
Yeah.
That's your gold
mine.
The
owner
beef?
Of that mine. It's the Silver Bow Gold Mine. Anyway, according to the stories, there are mischievous little creatures who lived in the depths of the mines. They were known for knocking on the walls of the tunnels with their tiny hands, and their presence was believed to be either an omen of good fortune or a harbinger of disaster. But their motives were mysterious as their origins. Some said the knocking was a warning of danger, perhaps the collapse of the mine, or a sign of buried treasure deep below. Could be both. Others believed the Tommyknockers were simply playing pranks trying to frighten the miners. "You heard the knocking?" one of the men said. Jim nodded. "It started just after sundown, right at the place that we're digging. I swear I heard it clear as day. Knock, knock, knock." The other men listened intently. They heard the stories, of course. Who hadn't? But no one had ever heard the knocking for themselves. "It's the Tommyknockers, all right," said a man named Thompson, a veteran miner. "And when they start knocking, there's trouble." "Maybe they're trying to warn us," Jim said. "I'm telling you, something's wrong down there." The group fell silent, each man lost in thought. They all knew what could happen in a mine. A simple misstep, a crack in the wall, and the whole shaft could come down, burying them alive. "I'm going down," said Jim, finally, his voice filled with determination. "I've got to know. I'll go alone." "Wait," Thompson said. "We'll go with you. If something's wrong, we'll need every man we've got." But Jim shook his head. "It's no use. If the Tommyknockers are there, I'll be able to hear their knocking better by myself." Without another word, Jim grabbed his pickaxe and left the shack. The wind howled in his ears as he made his way down the narrow path to the mine shaft. Nope. He could hear his pounding heart in his chest. Yeah. When he reached the mouth of the shaft, he paused for a moment, listening. The knocking had stopped. For a moment, it seemed as though the mine was silent. But then the first knock echoed in the darkness below. Knock, knock, knock. Jim's heart skipped a beat. He was certain now that Tommyknockers were down there. He descended into the mine, his steps echoing through the narrow tunnels as he moved deeper into the mine. The knocking grew louder and more insistent. The air grew thick with dust, and Jim could barely see his hand in front of his face. The tunnel was tight and claustrophobic, and the walls seemed too close as he pressed forward. Suddenly, the ground beneath him gave way. With a loud crash, the tunnel collapsed, and Jim was buried under a pile of rubble. R.I.P. to a real one. And they all lived happily ever after. The end. Did. Yeah, the rest of them did. I mean, shout out to Jim for saying, like, "Look, I'm probably going to go die. Like, don't come with me."
Yeah, he came back, and he was like, "I heard it, and you know what? I want to see it. And I'm going to take the consequences that come with it."
Yep. And yeah, now he's gone. So
he said, "I know how I want to go out, and this is the way."
Yeah.
And the reason I picked those two stories is because the first story felt very like Cornish folklore.
Yeah.
And the second felt very like an American folklore.
Yeah, the first one was a petty person. The second one was them actually doing their job, being like, "Bro, why are you here?" Like, they were knocking like crazy when they. But also, what if their knocking is what's causing the collapses? I just want to throw that out there as a possibility. I'm no miner, but
they're like One Punch Man over there.
Yeah, like tink. They know exactly where to hit to make the mine collapse. That's all I'm saying.
They make eye contact with the miner right as they come in and goes. They're like, yeah, my $5, Chip? No? Savage. Well, I thought those were fun stories. This was a very hard topic to find stuff on.
Yeah. But, it's a very niche, minor story. Not a lot of those around these days.
No.
Not in like the traditional sense.
Yeah, and which is hard because like it's so interesting because it's such a big part of like American folklore. So I was happy to find these, and I can't remember how I found it, but it happened. So blessed be.
It's all that matters.
All right, we're gonna cue some sound effect. Do you want to say what sound effect? Do you have a choice? Oh yeah, we got the moaning wolf back. Let's throw that back.
Kimmy brought back my favorite. That wolf was playing Love in Deep Space, let me tell you.
Welcome back, campers. I brought the moaning wolf back just
hell for yeah.
And
thank you so much. See, you could have just made that my Science or the Church correct answer one, and that would have been the best prize I could get every week.
Just every week when you get it right, do that sound effect.
Just the moaning wolf.
Maybe I should do that. Maybe that's what I'll do this week. If you get it right, I'll do
you brought it. You brought it back normal now. It's back on the soundboard. You can't. No take backs.
No take backs.
No.
I do the moaning wolf with like a science sound, or the moaning wolf like
with the church. Some people might not like that second one, but you know,
we'll workshop it. We'll workshop it. I go to the Catholic Church. I was like, "Hey, Father, I know I haven't been here in a while, but I need some help."
He's gonna pull up this episode and be like, there should have been a moaning wolf over the holy bells.
He's gonna pull up the succubus episode, and then he's gonna want to meet with me for a minute.
Yeah, a lot of people wanted to talk to us after that one.
It's pretty great. Oh man, welcome back, campers. We hope you enjoyed that little break. Hope you played some Love in Deep Space.
I know I did.
We're going to now talk about Tommy Knocker's characteristics and some interesting tidbits associated with these wee fae. So, they look like small men. They stand about 2 feet tall, with heads double the size, and they have a greenish pale white hue to their skin. I like to think that may just be like the color like inside the mind kind of affecting it, because color theory. They have long arms and legs, wrinkled skin, and white whiskers that are known to be quite unattractive. They are seen sporting traditional miner clothing and consist of worn overalls, boots, long sleeve, button-up shirts, and sometimes a scarf. Sightings of these spirits are rare because they have the ability to turn invisible. So one is more likely to hear them before they see them.
Unless you owe them $5, then you will be seeing them.
Then you will be seeing them.
Yeah, you will be.
I love... That was my favorite. It was such a good story. Personality-wise, these mining fae are generally considered to be tricksters. They were known to commit both good and bad deeds. Some quote-unquote pranks they would play include stealing unattended tools or food, biting the end of one cigarette, or blowing out lanterns.
Look, if I'm a miner in 1913 and the only thing I have going for me that day is my lunch break cigarette and someone comes and bites it, I'm crashing out. That's it.
That's your 13th
I'm saying
reason.
that's not a prank. Like, that's the one thing getting that man through his day. That's fucked.
The thing too is, when I was reading stuff, they like say like how evil these spirits are, and I'm like, I don't think these spirits are evil. I get
it, yeah.
But I get it.
Imagine working in the mine for like you're on your like 18th hour of your shift, and you finally get a cigarette break, and someone just bites it off. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'd crash out too. You're there like hunched over
Yeah.
all day, like squatted, like
They
doing
ain't ever
this.
getting their $5. That's all I'm saying.
I would give the spirit the $5.
Yeah.
It's about the principle at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So on the opposite end, so the good end, they would go around knocking on the walls of the mines to warn of cave-ins and prevent workers from being buried alive. To this day, it's believed that they are the reason so many miners survived the dangerous career.
Hmm.
So, who the hell would work such a dangerous job and be so successful at it? Well, cousin Jack, of course. So I have a bunch of fun old flyers I was able to find of people in America asking Cornish and Welsh immigrants to come to America and to mine because they were like peak workers, and I'll like get into it.
The
So
children stopped yearning for the mines, so they needed to import the Welsh and the Cornish.
Yeah, the children no longer yearned for the mines.
Yeah.
So who
it's
is
really the decline of America right there.
That's why we don't have them anymore, actually.
Yeah, not enough people yearn for the mines anymore. I'm glad the Minecraft movie came out to try and rekindle the yearning in the next generation.
They will yearn for the mines.
Mm-hmm.
We have to put out a movie about it. The kids now wake up like, coal.
Coal. Just want to go dig a hole right now.
Just don't go spelunking. It's
unless you're mining, then it's fine.
It's a very thin line. I think that's the thing. Is us as a society have fallen because we went from coal mining to spelunking, and it's like that's where the problem happened. We gotta go back. You know?
Spelunkers were just children who yearned for the mines that were never given the opportunity, so instead they did a dangerous hobby. And if we would have just given them a pickaxe at 5 years old, we wouldn't have this problem.
We're gonna...
I'm just saying.
We're so serious right now. Mm-hmm. There's not a hint.
Look, as a child, I yearned for the mines, and I think it should happen more often.
Ryan's there with his little pickaxe. Little Ryan. Oh, it's so cute. So, who is Cousin Jack? So, I was talking about it earlier in the episode. So, when the California Gold Rush began, these experienced Cornish miners were welcomed and often sought out after by the mine owners. Attempting to recruit more miners, managers often skipped right past the American workers and approached the immigrants, asking them if they had relatives back in England that would be interested in coming to America to work in the mines. So the Cornish miners would reply something along the lines of, well, me cousin Jack over in Cornwall would come, could you pay for a boat ride here? So soon, many immigrant miners took on the nickname Cousin Jack, who formed the core of America's early Western mining workforce. So being referred to as Cousin Jack meant you were a hard worker and management saw you as the best of the best. Plus, it was one of the reasons that the superstition of the Tommyknockers thrived and spread throughout the mines of the West so quickly. And the other thing is, this made it so they got a paid ride to America.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, so they're like, oh, now I'm able to come here paid and have a job when I get here, too. So it was a big deal. And this was during the gold rush. So, like, they didn't have social media to know what was really kind of going on. Yeah. But the flyers were like, you could make money. You could be rich. Come to America, kind of
free
thing.
Free boat ride, you know?
And they were like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. I'm down, you know?
The Cornish yearn for the mine just as much. And a free boat ride gets you there. Like,
that's all it takes. Oh, man. So I thought it was really cool. It was fun to find like all these like old flyers. I always love when I find a lot of old artifacts.
Not just a free boat ride, but a signing bonus of $100.
Which
you could pay back a lot of $5 debts with that.
You don't gotta worry about any spirits on your ass for a little bit.
That's about $3,366 today. Jesus. That's a great signing bonus.
That
I would
would.
love, yeah, if someone offered me $3,000 as a signing bonus, I'm in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, looks like I yearn for the mines as
Yeah,
well.
can't, hey, gimme, you know?
I want
They're
to start singing
they're
"Whistle
coming
While You
back.
Work."
We're on our way. Your dreams might become a reality.
We may be closer than we think, sadly.
Yeah. Careful what you wish for.
You just see me in the mines. You just see the red
Wearing your
hair.
cat ears on a helmet.
Yeah, cat ears on the helmet. They'd be bunny ears, actually.
Yeah.
Bunny ears, the red hair. I'll just be doing "Whistle While You Work." It's
Mhm.
great. It's fine.
You ever seen what's the name of the movie? Oh, the one where he's the model. Why can I not think of the name? It's Blue Steel.
I know. Zoolander.
Yeah, Zoolander. When he goes and does like the photo shoot in the mine, and they're all looking at him like, "What the hell? That would be you in the mines."
Yeah.
Just
1,000%.
walking with your pig axe.
Anything for that $3,000 signing bonus, you know, I'll do it. My work, they're like, "Where did Kimmy go for a week?" They understand.
She had a yearning.
I had a yearning for the mines. All right, we digress. So why are they called Tommy knockers? Well, if you haven't guessed it by now, it's because of their ability to warn miners of danger or even treasure. So, knockers, and like we kind of talk about, maybe pronounced knackers, comes from the knocking on the mine walls that often happen just before cave-ins. They did this to warn others of danger and prevent them from meeting the same tragic fate as them. If the knocking had a more hammering sound to it, it warned them that someone had died or became terribly injured. There was also a knocking sound that had a more cheerful ring to it, and this let the miners know that they were being led to rich ore or even gold. So the knocks had different like tones, which I thought were very interesting.
Yeah.
And I figured like you can kind of tell like after you've been for a while, like um a good example would be when you're watching like babies, their cries mean different things and you can kind of catch on. Like a hungry cry versus a tired cry have like different sounds to them.
Yeah. I'm always very impressed when my sister, like when my nephew's crying, she's like, "Oh, there he goes, he's hungry." And I'm like, "What do you mean? He's just screaming." Like,
you're like, "What witchcraft is this?"
Yeah.
So even though they were pranksters, they would mildly inconvenience workers. They were overall considered a good omen and fun to have around. So now to bribing the spirits.
Before we move on, I just want to point out this picture is sick.
Oh my goodness. I love this artist. We have done like a shout out of them in the newsletter, and she does a lot of really cool folklore art. I've talked to her before. Absolute delight. But she makes really great stuff.
Yeah.
So Brett Manning, great artist. If you guys like fairy tale, a little bit of dark, but like in a whimsy way, check out her stuff. Great stuff. It's just like a really fun interpretation of the Tommyknockers that she did. And I adore it.
It's like a skull and crossbones, but with a gnome.
And it has like a little crystal. I love it. It's
sick.
So delightful. Anyway, so now, if you yearn for the mines, as we probably soon will, and wish to have Tommyknockers guide your way, you'll want to make sure to be on their good side. And though a few pranks may be inevitable, much like Congress, see, I could tell when I wrote these show notes.
I'm trying to figure that one out.
No,
oh, okay, I see. Yeah, continue. It makes sense.
Yeah. So, sorry, let me finish the sentence so you guys get it. So, though a few pranks may be inevitable, much like Congress, you can bribe these wee men.
There it is. That makes more sense. I was like, what do you mean a few pranks might be inevitable, much like Congress?
Yeah, it's because I had like ... The pause was in the wrong spot. It's fine. The joke landed the second time. So here is a handy-dandy list of some offerings and gifts to leave in the mines for these way. Leave behind the crust of your pastries, specifically those of pies, veggie pies, or sweet pastries.
See, conveniently, so many kids don't like their crust, so they'd make good miners.
Put the kids back in the mines
Mm-hmm.
is what we're learning. Leave behind some lunch for them. You know
Okay.
how kids never finish their lunch. You just put. We're gonna get we're gonna get so much trouble for this.
Yeah. the lunch your mommy packed you, leave a little bit behind for the Tommyknockers.
The like 3 children that totally bypassed our introduction and said, "Kids, don't watch this."
They're the miners of America. That's the future. Come on, get out there. Hey, it pays well. When I drive through middle of nowhere Nevada and I see it's like $120,000 come work in our mine, I'm like, should I? Do I have to live in the middle of nowhere and have nothing to spend that money on? Yes, but you know, it's an honest living.
But if you do that for like 2 years,
yeah,
then you don't have to work for
yeah. Especially if you're living in the middle of nowhere, you can live a long time off $120,000. You move to a city, lasts you about a week, but
yeah, you just need your liquor and cigarettes, right? Start it young.
Some Zins, some White Monster, you're coasting.
Anything happens. Red Bull gives you wings, my man.
Kids don't do nicotine; it's bad for you. Anyway, what's the third thing?
That's the takeaway we should tell children from this.
Yeah, don't take nicotine. Go become a miner, but don't get addicted to nicotine.
And then the last one is fashion little clay figures for them.
You could do that in your arts and craft class. Look at that.
God damn it.
This is why we need to fund our Department of Education. Because if we lose our art class, how are the children going to make their little clay figures for the mines? It's all coming together. We need to make a presentation for Congress.
I love the idea. Can we show up in our camp counselor outfits that we'd wear
Mr.
for the
Speaker,
shoot?
the children yearn for the mines, but the only way to keep them safe in these mines is if, one, they can afford, or even better, free school lunches so they could leave a little bit behind for the Tommyknockers. Number 2, fund education so that they can make fun little clay figures for the Tommyknockers. Look, they could work in the mines for cheap. The money we save by having the children work in the mines can go directly back to the Department of Education. It's a win-win situation for our country.
It's a full cycle.
I yield the floor.
You know, the saddest thing about that, there's going to be people that think about it.
They're going to say, that boy's onto something right there.
The one with the cowboy hat. It's like,
goddamn right.
You goddamn right. Children yearn for the mines.
I've been saying it.
We need some more blue-collar workers. It's also important not to harass or disturb them when working, too. If you bother them, they can become very malicious and go out of their way to make your life living hell. Here's a handy-dandy list of some things to avoid altogether. Don't whistle in the mines. It's disruptive to fairies and it's considered bad luck. That's
a pretty common one throughout folklore, is just don't whistle.
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting thing. I was just about to say that. Yeah. Like, I learned a lot when I was in Arizona. You just don't whistle at night. Yeah. And I was like, okay. I was like,
can do.
If I have a Navajo telling me not to whistle at night on the reservation, you don't have to tell me twice. Yeah. Sounds great. Even if you're lying to me, I'm still going to believe you.
And great news once again, most kids don't know how to whistle.
I can't. Don't speak ill or make fun of the knockers.
This will be a little harder to teach children not to do, but
this may be the one hurdle. And don't offer moldy food or try to prank them.
Oh. Easy enough.
They can't take a joke.
Yeah.
They can do the joke, they can't take it.
Yeah. Number 4 should be don't loan money to fellow miners, because if they die in a mine collapse, you're cooked. And
yeah, you're going to be dealing with that the rest of your time there.
Yeah.
So getting on their bad side can result in missing equipment, missing lunch, injury, or even death. So stay on that good side. Fund your public education system, and you'll be fine. Oh God. All right, let's go to science of the church. It is time for Is It Science for the Church? And Ryan, you are 101. And I have given you nothing this week.
This one, so just because this is an American one, more or less, it seems quite obvious that it's going to have something to do with the church. So
that's your
I don't
answer.
really have any other explanation other than the fact that there's a lot of children in church. The children yearn for the minds. Therefore, science or the church. Science.
Well,
Fuck.
Ryan. Well, you can't win them all, and that's just what it is because it's science this week. It's okay because schools don't fund that either. So
it's true. Yeah,
that's why you probably missed it. It's fine.
It's fine. We could if more people worked in the mines, but
well, we'll get there. Well, don't worry. We'll make a day to go to the house, and we'll bring a PowerPoint and everything.
Okay, that's good.
We got science. I am now winning again. Thank you so much. You have done so well.
Yeah.
I gave you nothing.
Yeah.
I'll give you a little bit more next week. See, here's the thing: is I win and then I feel bad.
Yeah.
So then I give you something.
It's been this is my last science of the church in my 20s, so it's kind of fucked up that you threw me for a loop like that, and I thought I felt Saturn getting closer, and now I can feel it just fading further away from me. There it goes. Saturn's gone. Anyway.
It's okay. You'll have another 30 years.
Yeah, Saturn will come back in my 60s. That's what, you know what? That's gonna get me through the next 30 years. Saturn's coming back.
Saturn's coming back. Saturn's coming back. All right. This week we got science. The phenomenon of the Tommy knockers knocking on the mining walls and warning miners of danger could actually just be basic geology. So, with everyone yearning for the mines and rushing to get that quick gold, building proper structural support, setting up proper safety measures, and creating stable mine shafts weren't the forefront of most people's minds. So this resulted in poorly supported mine shafts that were poorly lit, very dangerous, and normally overmined. So the knocking that the miners would hear were actually the creaks and groans of the mine caves that could no longer hold the weight of the earth above and was about to collapse.
More like creating stable mines weren't at the front of people's minds. Am I right? Am I right, folks? I was trying to get it out before you got too far, but you just kept going, and I didn't want to interrupt. But that would have killed about 15 seconds ago.
That's why I did the cricket sounds. Yeah, I'll do it again. See.
Get it like the front of their minds.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thanks. Okay, that's why I put that.
That was my last pun of my 20s. Didn't land very well.
You're doing amazing.
Saturn's running from me full speed.
Saturn is just looking at you and shaking his head like.
I feel Pluto out there laughing at me.
Pluto's like, take a look at this guy.
Yeah, guy. At least I'm kind of a planet. Anyway, what were the creeks doing?
So this led to a ton of dangerous cave-ins that could lead miners trapped or buried under the Earth's rubble, never to be seen again. So this was a big stretch, but pretty much the knocking could just be poor structural integrity, and the earth having weight, and there being a thing called gravity,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. So
Okay. Yeah, that honestly that makes me way more sense. I had no idea where I was going with the church.
I don't know where
I was
you were
thinking
going with
maybe
the
they were
church.
gonna say like it's the devil, like they were digging too close to hell, so like demons were coming out, but I don't know.
They're getting them demons.
Yeah.
The demons in the mine were
Yeah,
lurking
like
out.
money is sinful, and being a miner like was paying $100. I don't know.
There's something,
Sometimes you shoot your shot and it doesn't land.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. So
And that's okay.
yeah, I was really surprised in researching a lot of this mining stuff. So a fun paranormal thing. There's like things called like red rooms or red portals, which is like just the worst thing ever. You probably have seen them in like horror movies.
Mm,
Um, but I'm surprised like none of that kind of came up with this. So I was like, oh, I guess there's no like demon association at all.
Hey,
Like people just thought they were ghosts.
we'll take the win.
Oh, listen, a win is a win,
Yeah.
which I like because I think these spirits are quite delightful.
Hmm.
But now what do we do next? Oh yeah, we have an Aloreing alignment chart.
Yeah.
That's a thing we do.
Well, first, do we have any announcements?
No, no, we
Okay.
don't do that anymore. We don't do that.
No announcements. We're just gonna. Oh,
Oh,
there it is.
there it is. Ooh, oh wow, it's so delightful
Yeah.
to be so close on the Aloreing alignment chart.
Yeah. I was gonna put mine pretty much where yours is, but I just did like pure chaotic. Like, 'cause they're not necessarily good or evil. Like, I feel like they're more good because they're if they are actually warning people about cave-ins and not causing the cave-ins. But I put it as chaotic because the man was ruining someone's life over $5. Like, and I just went off my stories.
That's true. I did chaotic. I did bump it a little bit more towards good because nice life mean death, And
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a very simple like code of conduct.
Yeah, be cool to them. They're cool to you. Leave them a little treat, and that can be said for a lot of things in life. If you just give someone a little treat, they're gonna take care of you.
Listen, yeah, that's just like a good rule of thumb is
Mm-hmm.
if you're like in a new like environment, like if you move somewhere or work environment, sometimes just like offering like cookies or gum,
Mm-hmm.
it goes a long way. And then if the person is just like a miserable person, right off the bat.
Yeah, your significant other's having a bad day, little treat.
Little sweet treat.
Little treat. Yeah. 9 out of 10 times it solves this problem.
It always is. I'll be laying in bed and Edgar looks at me. He's like, "How do you feel about crumble?" And I'm like, I was like,
better than I did before you asked.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I guess if you want a little bit, I guess I'll have a little bit of crumble.
A little sweet treat.
Oh man, wow, it's same page. We'll see what the next episode how this goes.
Yep.
Let's do our takeaways for this episode. Do you want to go first since you
So
lost
I have
Science
two.
for the
I have
Church?
2 takeaways this week.
Oh, do you want to do both of them then?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
feel like they're probably not going to be yours, so I don't think I'm going to steal anything from you.
Okay.
So this one's for just our folklore listeners. One, the children yearn for the mines. So fund public education, that'll get them back in the mines. Seems pretty simple. My second one, and ladies, if you could just stop listening for a minute. Theys, gays, and boys, listen up. All right. If you want to get your significant other just fucking feral, what you're gonna do is go grab their phone real quick. All right. You're gonna download Love in Deep Space. Just have them play it. All right. Trust me. All right. You could. I don't know how to tell the people who muted to unmute, but you can unmute now.
You should have been like, give me 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's 20 seconds. It's fine. No, they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
You know, I'm dead ass. I'm gonna see if we can see if there's an affiliate thing, because I really.
Yeah. If that's our first sponsor, oh man, I'll play it.
We have a few sponsors already.
Yeah, but like, I mean, like, I'm talking like a big, like no shit, like, yeah, that'd be crazy.
Would you then play the game?
Oh, 100%.
I would love that. I'm just gonna send this as a video. I'm like, please, you don't have to give us any money. Just say you're a sponsor. I want nothing more. My takeaway is hashtag stop splunking.
Yeah, valid.
I'm scared for you guys. I'm so worried.
Yeah.
Please be safe.
If you feel like spelunking, just go become a miner. Like, it's so much safer, more regulated. You could get your cave fantasy. Go play Minecraft.
Stop spelunking, start mining.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's a good takeaway. Oh man, I don't know what this episode was, so we'll get out of here. Thank you all so much for listening. This has been Aloreing.
You just have the most alluring day. Go download Love and Deep Space on your girl's phone right now, and we'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye.
And that is all for this episode of Aloreing. Thank you for taking a seat around the campfire and listening. If you want more Aloreing, go check out our website, aloreing.com. That's ALOREING.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Discord. If you have any questions or stories you would like us to discuss, email us at aloreing@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe. It's the best way to support us. If you want special content not posted anywhere else, visit our Patreon at patreon.com/aloreing and help us keep the fire burning. A special thanks to Lane Hammonds for our music and Chase Gutierrez for our audio effects.